Okay, hey everyone. I'm doing this. Well, it looks like an impromptu interview, but it has been planned. I've been trying to get my buddy Jad T Jones, as he's called, to agree to do an interview with me. Jad, who you see alongside me, is someone I met about 5 years ago at a self-development event. And Jad is someone who is basically just quietly getting on with his own coaching, training business. He's not a three principles coach, but just tell everyone, Jad, how many subscribers you have on YouTube.
On YouTube, currently I have around 62,000 subscribers, and I'm up to over 10 million views and counting. And I've also had quite a few email subscribers. I won't share the number, but I've had quite a few. And depending with emails, with your email list, you clean them out. But I've had thousands, and I've had, a good number.
Cool. So that's a lot by anyone's imagination. So I've called this video kind of how to be a YouTube sensation, right? So it's just my thoughts, but really maybe we should start off with just by letting people know that, like, okay, what's your background? How on earth, those numbers are mind-boggling to most of us. How on earth did you get to the stage where you had 62,000 subscribers? Was it kind of like a one-off, or has it been slow and steady over time, just producing great content? What's your journey been so far?
Okay, so it's important to know when I started the YouTube channel, which is 2011, at the end, I think, at the very end of 2011, and it's now 2017. So it's definitely something that's slow and steady. It's definitely not a one-off. Very often, what I have with my subscribers is loyalty. I hear very often, and I even heard this yesterday with a brand new client, where he said that he's been with me since the beginning, and then I do dating advice, and he started listening over the years. He'd listened to like a lot of people, but then he realized it was too much, and he narrowed it back down. And through the filtering, I stay, right? Because I'm real with people. So I have longevity. I'm going slow and steady, but I have loyalty. The people who are with me are loyal and stay with me for years.
So is it just a case of then, you said you do dating advice. Tell us more about your channel, and what does that look like? Was it just a case of you switched on the camera and just started talking and just sharing stuff, every day, every week, and just talked about dating? Or is it something more complicated than that? Because I'll tell you where I am, and maybe I'll talk about why I had you on here. So as a lot of people know, I create a lot of content. I create content like this. I think the content that I create is really useful, and I get really good feedback on it that it is useful. And whilst my subscriber list has grown, and I've not really done anything to make that happen, and the number of views has grown, it seems like, and I've been doing it for a couple of years. I've got hundreds of subscribers and tens of thousands of views, as opposed to a lot more. Is that normal? Or it seems like there's probably something different in my imagination that you're doing, or stuff that that I don't know. So I hear you say that it's slow and steady. In my mind, I'm producing regular content slowly. It doesn't seem to have the same traction as perhaps you've got, but could you help me understand that a bit better?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, here's the deal. We could go into the technical aspects of YouTube, but anybody can go into YouTube and figure those out. Okay, so we won't go over things such as you need to post consistently, you need to have good content, you need to not be a liar, blah blah blah. We're not going to talk about that. There's a higher level, which is what I've started from the beginning. So when I started my channel, my intentions came from here, not from here. Okay? That is what everyone needs to understand. If you're running a YouTube channel because you think, oh, you know what, a great business idea would be to go on video and run a YouTube channel because I think I'm going to get a lot of people, you're not going to get where you need to get. I came from a place of a genuine desire to help men, to prevent men from going through the same pain that I went through. So where I came from, where I started from, was I wanted to help a brother out, right? And I understood also that people need to be entertained to a certain degree if they're going to stick around and watch your videos. So it's not enough only to have good content, because people are lazy. People are very lazy. You have to also entertain them while you're educating them. If you're not entertaining them, if you're not bringing the energy in the videos, then people are, even if your stuff is good, they're lazy, and it takes time, it takes focus for the human being to watch a video, a personal development video. If you mix that, however, with some sort of entertainment factor, then they're more likely to stick around. Like, we're saying that my success is, let's say, impressive, but if we compare my success to other channels, I'm nothing, right? Like, if you put my channel next to cute kittens, and cute kittens have way more views, and those guys make a lot of money on advertising on YouTube, right? But they're not really, but what are they doing? They're entertaining, right? So the entertainment factor has to be there somehow. It could be as simple as bringing a certain energy to your video, where you're not only giving your viewer information, but also at the same time inspiring them, filling them with an inspiration, so that when they watch your video, after they watch it, they feel, wow, right? Versus if it was just bland information, they're gonna be here, it's gonna touch them here and be like, oh yeah, that makes sense, I'll probably get to that. Instead of, don't aim for this, aim for this. You talk to this part of them, not this part of them, right? You need to try to move people. And so I just started by, I got some great advice, which is production over perfection, right? So there are so many people that their first video, it took them like 10 takes to make their first video and upload it on YouTube, right? Don't do that. Shoot your video and upload it. I'd say 90% or 95% of all my videos since the very first video was the first take. Chill out, relax, do your thing, be yourself, and then put it up there. Another mistake people make is, oh, the camera's on, let me be professional now, right? I'm well aware that wearing a baseball cap is probably not that professional. Wearing a t-shirt is probably not that professional. But you know what's more important than appearing professional to people? Being authentic, right? So yeah, I have a baseball cap. Yeah, I'm in a t-shirt, but I'm there for my brothers. I will, you get someone in front of me and I will give them my heart and soul. And I am who I am. A great comment that I get all the time when people meet me in person is like, wow, Jad, you know what? I didn't know what to expect with meeting you in person, but you're the exact same person, right? And people have this expectation that you're going to be different between video and in person. And the degree of realness that I'm bringing and dedicated to is also what allows me to touch the person on the other side of the screen, because they know I'm not posturing in order to try to manipulate them into following me, right? Instead, I'm presenting myself. It's kind of like, here I am, this open heart, trying to connect with another heart. And some people resonate with me and stay with me, and others don't, and they don't. So that's like a whole bunch of jumble of stuff, but I'll stop there. Is that making sense?
Yeah, there's a load of stuff there, Jad, and I'm kind of eating a bit of humble pie here because I said before we started recording, Jad, because we joke around. I know you, you're a friend of mine. Not that we've met that many times, but I consider you a friend. Every time we meet, we have a laugh and a joke. And I said, Jad, remember, we're going to be professional, right? Like, this is a bunch of coaches here, and I want to keep it professional. And I'm kind of eating a bit of humble pie going, yeah, maybe that's something I need to work on. Because, you know, you're right. And it's funny, you know, we get the same feedback, you know, our whole lives. Sometimes we have to learn a lesson over and over again. And when I was in my very first corporate job, that's one of the feedback I got from this is like when I was kind of 22, 23 years old. It's like, we know you're a professional. We want to see you. We want to see you show up in. And I was lucky that I worked for a company that had that kind of ethos and mindset. But that really makes a lot of sense. You know, what you're saying around bringing that not vulnerability, but kind of the realness, who you really are, to help people. And I think I do that to a certain extent. But also what I'm getting from what you're saying is you don't need to be too serious. And I mean, to be fair, I wear this shirt all the time anyway. So I don't wear t-shirts. It's cold in England, man. You can't wear t-shirts over here. But in terms of I like the deeper thing that you're saying really about you know, the entertainment factor. And it's funny because I'm now thinking as well, like, when people meet me in real life versus when they see me, you know, or hear me online, is it the same? And there are probably elements of it which are the same, and I know sometimes I can be a lot more jokey in real life and have a lot more fun and play. And I think what I'm hearing from you is bringing playfulness into your online work, into your YouTube. If especially if that's, like, for someone like me, that's how I am anyway. So it's about not dialing that down. Is that right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So if you are a funny guy and a goofy guy, not goofy, but you're a very playful guy, if that's who you are, that needs to come out. I'm not a very like a funny person, but you're a very playful guy. I don't know. I am whatever I am, and I don't switch it when the camera goes on and switch it. Just, you know. So yeah, that's what I mean.
Great. I just want to give a few quick shout outs. So we've got loads of people watching us. Emma Clay says hi. Nikki Bartley says hi. Julie says hi.
Arthur I forgot Peters. We were live.
Yeah, we're live.
People are watching like right now?
Yeah, they're watching us right now.
Oh, okay. What's up? Respect. Thanks for joining us.
Arthur Peters, I don't know if you know him, says, Jad, I love you, brother. So you've got
Arthur, what's going on, my man?
you got some mad love going on over here. Nikki said, I've never really made YouTube content. I see lots of people having huge success, but I'm not sure I can on there. I feel too old for YouTube. So I don't know if you want to kind of really talk to that. Is anyone too old or too young for YouTube? Does age really matter?
No, because everyone has a demographic that they're going to relate to. If you're quote unquote old, right? I don't like that word, right? We're all spiritual beings in a mechanical piece of flesh. You're not old, right? So whatever you have, here's what I always tell people. We all have a special gift, and you're doing the world an injustice by not sharing that gift with us. So if you have a gift and there's a voice inside your head, inside your heart saying, I have something to contribute, don't let something so trivial as I'm too old stop you from sharing your gift with us, right? You get on YouTube, you have more years, you can inspire other people your age and older to see that there is possibility, that you don't have to give up, or you don't have to hide, or you have to be ashamed, or whatever issues people have around age. So no, bring it. Come on, share with us. We want to see you.
Yeah, I can relate to that. So I know Nikki a little bit, and she's giving us lots of little likey things on Facebook Live, as we can see. So she's loving what you're saying, Jad, and I can really relate to that, because I know Nikki recently, shared a video online, and she got a ton of really good feedback on it, and I know she was a little bit nervous of it. So absolutely, Nikki, I can see in reality people want to see more of that, and they want to see more of you. I do, and I think thanks a lot for Jad for encouraging that.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. What started me on YouTube was exactly what I just said to Nikki, right? It's like there was this voice, there was this thing inside my head saying, you know what? I can do this. I can do this. I can explain this dating thing better than these people, more simple. That if you have a voice inside of you telling you you can do something, you should do something, that's your intuition. That's your wise heart. That's kind of like your mission whispering to you. A lot of people don't listen to that. You need to understand that if you have that desire, what comes along with that desire is the ability to execute that desire. So for me, I'm like, you know what? I think I can explain this better than other people. I think I can do a better job at this. And at the beginning of my YouTube career, those were the exact comments I started getting from people. Hey, Jad, you know what? You can explain this a lot more simple. Oh, finally someone who can explain it simply. Oh, fine. Everything that I thought actually turned out to be reality. So trust that voice, that hunch you have, because that's your talent coming out.
You know, Sam, and you might be hearing an aeroplane. I always say this in my videos. I live next to an airport. But Sam Munslow says, this makes sense for all aspects of creating a community. Care first, be respectful, and helpful for no purpose other than to give, and this will come back. Makes such sense. Thank you. Loving this.
Thank you, Sam.
Nikki said, to her earlier comment about being old, she goes, that's what it seems like to me. I'm now thinking I should maybe get on there. Sam then says, I'm sitting here listening to this obvious common sense stuff and I really needed to hear it. Thank you, Sam. And then she said, oh my goodness, don't change you, Ankush. I love seeing your videos and you are authentic. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate the feedback. Emma's saying, hi, Jad. Nikki said, LOL, I'm not actually old. And thank you. It makes perfect sense.
Okay. I have a quote for you guys, everyone who wants to get on video. I have my favorite poem is by William Blake. I think the title of the poem is called Proverbs of Hell, or Proverbs from Hell. And the quote is, listen to the fool's reproach. It's a kingly title. All right? Listen to the fool's reproach. It's a kingly title. That means that you're not living until you stick your neck out there and, give people the chance to criticize you. If nobody's criticizing you in your life, you're doing something wrong. You're not sticking your neck out far enough. All right? Don't let people's criticism or threat of criticism stop you from living the life you want to live and going after the things you want to go after. If you allow people to intimidate you like that, you're going to be stuck forever. All right? So you need to get over this fear of people's criticism. Yesterday, I did a sales presentation online and somebody criticized me on there. And whatever, man. All right? If you want to play the game, you got to be willing to take the hits. You can't have the mindset of, I'm going to go and be a football player, but I don't want to be tackled, right? If you're going to be a football player, what comes within that game is you're going to get tackled sometimes. You're going to get injuries. Same thing with getting on video, getting online, putting yourself out there as a coach. You want to be a coach? Well, my friend, step into the kitchen, open up and get ready for some hits. That's life.
Yeah, I can really relate to that, Jad, and it's something that Jamie Smart shared with me many years ago, and he often uses his example of you're looking at his books and he gets loads of really positive reviews and he gets loads of negative reviews, and I know I had that fear I don't want to get more visible because people might criticize me. And it really comes back to what we're sharing as coaches. We've got to take our own medicine, and we share with our clients that the fear of any kind of fear it's all in our heads, that we create that via our own thinking, and so it's not something we need to take so seriously. So you know, I can relate to that, and I'm writing a book at the moment, and one of the things that I have in my head is I'm going to put it out there, and I'm probably going to get some atrocious feedback. I know someone's going to say it's too simplistic, someone's going to say it's not very good, you know, even online. And you know, one of the best videos I've ever done, I believe, is an interview with George Pransky, and in fact that was the one that I had one of the harshest comments on, where someone said, no, this is too simplistic what this guy's saying, and you know, disagreed with it. So I think you're absolutely right that it kind of comes with the territory of being a coach, being visible online, that we are going to get criticized, but that criticism can't hurt us. I mean, that's the other thing for me, is that if I think that, oh, if someone criticizes me, I'm going to be less, or I'm going to feel less, that's simply not true. You know, we don't have to live in that reality. That's not how our minds work. So Emma's saying she's loving what you're saying. She said great advice, and she's asking, do you have many trolls?
Emma, I will tell you this. I love it. I absolutely love it when someone sends me a hate email or a hateful comment on Facebook or a hateful comment on YouTube. Because what I do is I laugh and I say, thank you. Okay, I'm going to say, sorry, Ankush. Thank you, asshole. Block from channel or block from page. They just identified themselves and now they're blocked. All right? That's it. You block them. Oh, here's a lesson that I learned, and 3 times, two and a half, let's say. If someone sends you hateful messages, do not try to reason with that person, because that person is not angry at you. That person has anger issues. When I try to calm down and negotiate with hateful people, they calm down, and then a few months or a few years later, they came back with their fury again. All right? Mean people, easy. Do not respond, block. Done. The technology is out there. You can block people's emails. You can block people from subscribing to your website. You can block them from Facebook. You can block them from YouTube. Sure, they can create another email address, but then you can just block them like that, and it's not. They don't keep coming back. So it's a flea. Squash the flea. Move on.
Sam's again just given us a really great example of a different view on this, a different take. She said, at least they're watching. Any feedback is better than being ignored. At least they hear you. And and to me, that's a great way, you know, it's a great mindset to have. Hi, Gail. Gail's just joined us. Nikki said she's not afraid of criticism. She thinks that she didn't think there would be many viewers out there for her, but she's going to grab her cat and get out onto YouTube. And I think that's true. You know, like I've got some of my clients who are creating some videos. I don't know, Hogne Kirkibo, if he's watching this, he created some videos recently, and you know, we get better by doing. And I know that I do a podcast on relationships. I listen to the first episode and it's like I cringe. I listen to the first 10 or 15, like I'll cringe at any of them because I'm like, oh my god, I was umming and ahhing so much and I don't think I was very good. But we only get better by, in my opinion, from stuff like this through doing. So even your first video, maybe it's rubbish, you know, maybe it's not going to be the most inspiring piece of work you've ever created. But you can't, in my opinion, you can't jump to doing something like world class by not going through all of those steps. So, exactly. You know, I like you say, I think it's just part of the learning curve.
Yeah, and I'll add something to that. Again, people ask me about starting YouTube channels and all this stuff. And a fear people have, and it makes me laugh, is that what if I make a bad video and then, like, you know, everyone sees it, and then, you know, my reputation is destroyed. Okay, understand this, all right? It's hard to get viewers to even watch your video, okay? If your video's not good, believe me, YouTube and Facebook have algorithms. They don't spread it. If people come off your video quickly, your video is going to get less views. You're not that important. You're not that great, okay? So stop taking yourself so seriously. Your video sucks. Guess who cares about how sucky your video is? Only one person, you, okay? So get off it. You're not that important, all right? So that's something we all need to realize. So you can make a bunch of crap videos. The only consequence to that is you're not going to get that many views. So it's about stop taking yourself so seriously. Let go of perfection. This comes back to integrity and authenticity, right? What's more important to you? If perfection is more important to you than sending an important message that's coming from here, that in my belief, if it's coming from here, that means it's coming from a higher place, coming through me and using me as a vessel to deliver this to someone, then I and my stupid ego is not important. The message is important. So that's what I will say to you coaches. If you're a coach, then you and all this, stop being so petty. What is your mission here? You have a bigger mission. It's bigger than you. All this should not be an issue at all. Get out there, deliver what you need to deliver, and that's it.
Thanks for that, Jad. I mean, this is great. We're getting lots of interaction on this Facebook Live video. You know, Julie says great advice on trolls. Get over yourself. Thanks, Jad. Sam saying yes, ignore your ego as you're not that important. What if it just touches one person, then it's worth it? Absolutely, I totally agree. Nikki says my videos are uploaded to my Facebook page and groups. Would you recommend then uploading to YouTube and then sharing that to Facebook?
Here's the thing with Facebook and YouTube relationship. They're in opposition. So what I do is I upload my video to YouTube and then I upload the same video to Facebook. When you link a YouTube video onto Facebook, Facebook shares it less. Another thing you need to understand about Facebook is if you have a Facebook page and you have, let's say, 5,000 likes on that page, 5,000 fans, that does not mean that every time you post, your post is going to get visible to 5,000. Facebook limits your posts depending on how interesting they are and some algorithm that they use. So you're not actually reaching the number of people that you actually have on your page every time you post. However, to increase the number of people who see your post, we're talking video right now, if you upload the video to Facebook, Facebook is going to spread that video a lot more than if you uploaded a link to YouTube video, because it's in opposition to Facebook. And Facebook wants to keep you on Facebook. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense to me, and that's what I do too. So, for example, with this video, it's a Facebook Live video. Facebook's encouraging people to watch it, which is great. Mm-hmm. What I'm going to do is I'm going to download this and then upload it separately to YouTube, so that it's in both places.
Yeah.
But I won't link one to the other, because you're right. That seems to be that less people view that.
Yeah.
One of the things I was reading today, actually, Jad, in kind of preparation for this interview, was about YouTube. YouTube and Facebook video. And one of the things that people keep talking about is algorithms changing. You know, they have these complex software and systems in the background to change the way videos are viewed. And I hear online marketers either complain about it, or then they say, "Oh, this is the latest thing. Now you need to do this." Mm-hmm. And for me, I don't know what your view is, and you talk a lot about authenticity, but it sounds like really what underlying thing is for these algorithms is they want to promote good content and they want to stop bad content. So one of the things it was saying was, like, Facebook's now cracking down on people saying, please like my post, please share my post. And instead it wants people that are creating good content that's helpful to people, that people are engaging with. It's getting rid of people who just have infographics, you know, just without actually talking and going live. So for me, it sounds like actually the best internet marketing strategy is, I guess, in terms of what you're pointing to, create some good content, create something of value that people want to hear. That takes time as well. You know, you refine your message, but it's not really about tips and techniques and gimmicks, or am I missing something?
No, you're 100%. You're 100%. Let's take Google, the analogy of Google, right? Google is a search engine. Google's mission and why it's number one search engine is that their mission and their purpose was pure, to give us the best possible result when we search for something, right? Its most important, its priority is the customer experience, right? So yes, every algorithm is designed to give you the best experience. So YouTube, the algorithm is built to give, if someone types in how to get a girlfriend, YouTube's algorithm's job is to get the best videos up on the first page to give you the best content. So yes, all those things, because I've gone through a lot of internet marketing courses, and essentially, sure, they'll help in the short term and stuff, but essentially, in my opinion, I think they're a waste of time. The long term, you don't have to, okay, here it is. You don't have to try to cheat the system, because the system works in your favor as long as you're doing something good.
Thank you. If we've got any more questions, I'm aware that Jad's going to have to get going in a little bit. Please keep asking your questions. Please interact. Happy to ask the questions on your behalf to Jad around YouTube. For those who missed the start of this, Jad has kind of tens of thousands of subscribers on YouTube. He's got a huge presence, and I'm really glad that he's agreed to join us today for this live video exclusively for our group, to help us with being more visible and getting, you know, more attention, if you like, online. And I think the key things we've been discussing so far is really be authentic, be the same on your videos as you would be in person, be real, have fun. People like entertainment. And you don't need to try and game the system. So whilst I'm waiting for any other questions to come through, can I ask you something about entertainment, Jad? Because you talked about entertainment, you talked about inspiration, and as coaches I can see people saying, well, I can try and be inspirational to someone, or I can share a story of hope or something like that, but where do you draw the line? Because I see YouTube channels where they're playing pranks and they seem to get loads of views. But as a coach, how do you kind of bridge entertainment with actually, you know, content that's really going to be helpful and useful to people? And I know you do that because you've got this whole dating thing going on. Maybe it's more applicable in that way, or do you see that anyone can bring an area or factor of entertainment to online video content?
Yeah, no, I think we need to define what I mean by entertainment, because if you look at my videos, I'm just standing in front of a camera. I don't do any I don't do any in-field stuff, or it's just me in front of the camera. When I'm saying entertainment, I'm saying bring energy behind what you're saying. Bring your heart into what you're saying. Too many videos come from here, right? Got to come from here. You got to, like, the thing that comes naturally to me is in every single video that I do, and even in this video right here, I feel like I want to grab whoever's listening by the lapel and shake them and be like, listen, this is how it is. This is how it is, right? I want to help them, right? We're like zombies, and we're like, you know, with the guys who aren't good with women, it's because they're making mistakes. And I'm like, bro, wake up, you know? And so it's an energy, right? It's an energy, like, because listen, man, me, you, and everybody else these days, we're all very smart. We have YouTube, we have Google, we can be very intellectual, right? But you know, when a boring video comes on YouTube, we want to shoot ourselves in the face, right? We want to be entertained. So it doesn't matter how smart you are. What you got, again, it comes back to bring your personality. So this is my personality. I'm a natural teacher, right? I'm like, oh, listen, I got it. It's very simple. You just have to, right? Just listen to me, please, because I promise if you do this, you'll stop suffering, right? So what's that for you? And then bring that. That's what I mean by entertainment, by bringing energy versus I can say, hey, I'm Jad T. Jones, and you have to be authentic with women, because if you try those pickup lines, they're not gonna work. Right? You can't talk like that on video. You have to bring passion.
I love it, and thank you for giving us that example. Right. So we've got some questions coming through. So. Julie Ann Brinkley says, how do you gauge how much content your audience is ready for? Do you have a system for pacing how much content or how deep a message you expose to them each time?
Okay, who was that, Julie?
That's Julie. Niels has actually got a very I'm going to ask Niels this question because it's very similar.
Okay.
He said, how about consistency when posting or releasing videos? Is it important to release videos on a set schedule and or frequency? So I think they're kind of similar sort of questions.
Okay, they sound very okay to me. They sound more different than similar, but I'll answer the easy question first. Okay, online consistency is king. All right, consistency. The more consistent you can be posting, whether it's blog posts that you write or videos, whatever it is, every algorithm is built for consistency. If you're consistent, you're awesome. All right. That being said, recently I have been seeing some of my YouTuber friends, there comes a tipping point where if you start sacrificing quality for consistency, meaning you're running out of content and so your videos aren't really good, well then at that point consistency starts to be a bad thing, because then you're not doing yourself justice by releasing poor content, right? So don't sacrifice quality for consistency. But if you can keep up quality, and consistency can be anything. It can be once a week, or it can be 3 times a week, or it can be 5 times a week, or it can be once a week. But whatever your consistency is, keep that, because the algorithm is watching the consistency. So some people post every Monday. Some people post 3 times a week. So in that's a nutshell. So that's technical stuff. That's easy. Now let me answer Julie's question. Julie's question was here. Here. Julie, go down here. Use your intuition. All right? You're thinking too much. What is your intuition? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about today? Make a video about that. What do you want to talk about after that? Make a video about that. Because here's the thing. If a video comes, and I told you this, Kush, you'll remember when I say it now. When an idea is fresh, it contains a certain magical energy. And if you turn on that camera while the idea is fresh, the message is going to come out clearly and the energy is going to come out beautifully. If you procrastinate on that and you don't shoot that idea at its time of inception when it's still alive, and you shoot it after, and this has happened to me, it's not good. It's not there. The essence is gone, right? And so Julie, all this intellectualizing and strategizing, you didn't hear everything I said before. I said, get out of here. They don't want you here. They don't care how smart you are. Come from here. Your intuition will guide you and tell you what to release at what time. And another thing that's beautiful, when you release videos on YouTube, you get comments, and those comments branch out. So whatever topic you have, people are going to comment and ask questions and say, hey, what about? And each what about is a new video. And so you're going to be guided naturally just by taking action. But the most important thing is you come from here, because if you don't come from here, you don't have impact. If you don't have impact, you're not getting the views.
I'm loving what you're saying, Jad, because, we're a bunch of 3 principles coaches, and you're not. You're a dating coach, and I know very authentic and have a lot of integrity. But so much of what you're saying is so related to what we as 3 principles coaches teach and share with our clients. We talk about people tapping into their intuition, tapping into their inner wisdom and common sense. And I'm guessing that some people may be like thinking, oh, here we've got a fairly famous YouTuber with tens of thousands of subscribers, that maybe he's going to give us loads of technical advice. And I wouldn't have been surprised if you did that. But what's really, really useful and helpful for me to hear, and Julie says thank you, Jad, is just how in alignment whatever you're saying is to what we already know. So I think every single coach in here already knows what you're saying on a certain level. That really the place that they're going to be the most impactful is when they're most connected to their inner wisdom, when they're not in their head, which again is what we teach our clients, to get out of, and they're coming from a place of clarity and common sense and wisdom. And that's when we really connect with another human being in person. But it makes sense. It's also when we connect with other people online using video.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you this. Listen very carefully, my dear coaches. Trust yourself. Okay, all these questions, all these technical, mind-based, strategic questions to trick people into watching you, dump it. Okay, there's no value in it. Trust yourself. The mind is clever, the heart is wise. This ain't gonna make you the money. This is. Because people, here's the thing. When we get into internet marketing and coaching and starting our own business, what we do, whether we admit it to ourselves or not, is we're like, oh, okay. Our kind of like, we have a dark side. Okay, well, I'm very smart, and I heard this marketing tactic and this one, and we come across, and this is the mind, right? Okay, and I'm going to post consistently, and I'm going to release the content in this order, right? It's strategic. It's very up here. It's dishonest. It's dishonest, right? Stop being so strategic. You're going to lose if you do. It's good to be strategic, don't get me wrong, but you have to come from here. Again, I say, people have been with me, my followers have been loyal with me since 2011 when I started my channel. Let me tell you this. The reason why, if I started with any lack of integrity, I would have tripped up by now. All right? I would have tripped up by now. If you start in a strategic way and you're not coming from integrity, eventually you're going to trip up, right? People are going to pick up on that. Right? The reason why people stick with me is because I'm real. Okay? I've been offered to have my own TV show. I've been offered so many times to promote people's products. I could send out an email right now and get $2,000, $3,000 easily off affiliate stuff, right? But I don't do that because I start from integrity and I stand for integrity and I'm protecting my viewers. My viewers are more important than my income. Right? So you have to get your priorities straight, and it's in this exploration of integrity is something that I've been exploring for. When did I took a seminar, like when I discovered how important. Let's say 10 years, right? And I'll tell you this: never stop exploring integrity, because a lot of times you think you're coming from integrity, but then you discover you're not. Okay, and then you have to come back, right? So again, like you guys have these 3 principles or whatever, I'm sure it's based on integrity, but then when you want to start a YouTube channel, there's a lack of integrity because you want to be professional. It's a lack of integrity. You want to be this, you want to be that. It's all here, right? Integrity comes from here, right? From authenticity. So look in the mirror and really investigate. Am I really coming from that honest place? And if not, what do I need to stop doing? And what do I need to start doing, right? A great quote that I love is by Bruce Lee. He said, one of the hardest things in our lives to do is to express oneself honestly. One of the hardest things for us to do is express ourselves honestly. I am in a constant quest of how can I express myself honestly. And so the foundation of your success, I believe, as a coach or as a leader that people are going to follow, is how close can you get to the true, pure expression of your true, honest, who you are. What is your honest expression, right? This is why people who are unlikely to succeed, succeed. Because you see them doing something really weird or something unconventional, and you're thinking, why did that catch on? It shouldn't have caught on if we think about it logically and if we know the laws that everyone tell us about what works. Why is it that some people who break all the rules succeed? It's because they were originals. They expressed, they were pure expressions of who they were. And when you're a pure expression of who you are, that means you're a pure expression of heart. And when you're a pure expression of heart, human beings are nothing but feelings and needs. They're hearts. That's all they are. And so hearts recognize hearts and they come towards, okay? Love is the movement towards. So when you're being love, which is being your honest expression of who you are, people will move towards you and they will travel across the globe to come see you as well. All right? So it's very important that I forgot where I started with that, but it's integrity. You have to explore whether you may think you're coming from integrity, but explore your strategic thinking and make sure you don't get sucked into here. All right, because we all have that dark side that's kind of like, okay, and I'm going to use this marketing technique now. All right, be careful.
So I love that, Jad, and you know, Arthur Peter says, thanks, Jad. It's really interesting how practical you view your work. Kamlesh is joining us from India. Hi, Kamlesh. Neil says, what you're saying really fits well. Julie has come back and said, you've got my number already. I overthink everything. I think this is exactly what is holding me back in my coaching business. I appreciate the insight very much.
Thanks for your comments, everyone.
Yeah, it's great. I love what you're saying about integrity, and something that my coach told me about integrity, which has really been landing for me for the last couple of years. And this isn't necessarily a three principles thing, but just because we're on the subject, it might be helpful to people, is that integrity is really an integration. You know, it's kind of from the same, I guess, the same Latin root. It's the integration of our words and our actions. So this is what we say, but also what we think. So if we think to ourselves, hey, I'm going to do a YouTube video tomorrow, and then we don't do it, it's like, oh, well, no one knows. I didn't tell anyone. I only told myself. Well, that's when we're not in integrity, because it's not integrated, right? So quite often I think who we're not in integrity with isn't even with other people. It's often with ourselves. And I saw that for myself, of how many times I would say things to myself and then not follow through, until I started to see this with regards to integrity. And very much, I think similar to you, but probably why we get on so well, Jad, is I love so many things that you're saying, that integrity is so important, and especially in this, both in kind of the YouTube world, but also in the training and coaching world, it's something that's a really important commodity that is for some reason in short supply. And when we show up from this very authentic place and we have a lot of integrity, people can tell that, you know, like people are pretty smart. People can judge pretty well when someone's trying to sell us something, someone's out for their own benefit, or someone's got a lot of ego, versus when someone's like I can sense it in you, you genuinely want to help people. And I know, even, you know, the reason I've kind of kept harassing you to record this is because I sense that from you. I know you're a good guy. You've come from a good place. I know loads of other people, but really I'm very careful about who I introduce to my audience over here, because I also want to help people, and I'm coming from a place of, look, if the only thing that comes out of these videos is other people really get helped to become great coaches, which means they help people, that's a really good use of my time. That's really useful for me to spend time doing, and I think people resonate with that. So I love absolutely what you're saying in terms of integrity, and also it's not a binary thing. It's not like one day you're not in integrity and another day you are. It's a constant exploration, and certainly you've got me thinking in this little live video about kind of my own integrity. Where can I show up even more authentically? Where can I be even more real, if you like, and enthusiastic? I sometimes do have my little rants online about when things I get passionate about, and maybe it's bringing more of that to my online videos. Yeah,
totally. People want to see you.
They do. Emma's loving this. Brilliant advice, Jad. Thanks, guys. Kumlesh says she has to go, but she's going to watch the recording and says thank you. So you're a real hit with the group. Is there anything else that we haven't covered that you'd like to share with, you know? But basically, you've got a bunch of coaches here who are really, really good at what they do, but a lot of them are not being visible and would probably like to have more impact in the world.
Okay. Well, like I said before, like that saying, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Okay, here's another part of integrity. Like Ankush is saying, if you're a coach, you better, okay, here, I'll share this with you. If you're a coach, you better make damn sure you're walking your talk. You better make damn sure you're walking your talk. When I started my YouTube channel, right, standing in front of the world saying I'm a dating advice expert, I've got this part of my life handled, well, you better believe I went out, I took my hits, I did whatever I needed to do, I evolved myself to the level I needed to evolve to, so that everything that came out of my mouth was backed up by me walking my talk. Okay. So I am sure, and I don't mean to offend anyone, but in 2017, I made a decision that as a coach, it is my responsibility to speak the raw truth. I am sure some of you coaches are not walking your talk. And like Ankush said, nobody knows it, but the most important person knows it, and that's you. So get off your ass, do whatever you need to do, face whatever demons you need to face. Otherwise, you're going to be a loser, a failure. You're not going to make it. Like Ankush said, if you're not the real deal, people will sniff you out. All right. So part of being a coach is really having the balls in life to face everything you need to face, because you need to walk your talk. All right. Ankush walks his talk, and that's why he's successful. And if you want to be successful, you have to walk your talk. Again, it comes back to integrity, right? The foundation of success in life is integrity. If you're going out there and being a coach thinking, oh, I learned these 3 principles and you know them up here, who cares if you know them up here? Are you living them? All right? Jim Rohn has a great saying. Don't ask do I know this? Ask, am I doing this? I will translate it in another way. Don't ask if you know this, but ask yourself, am I being this? You need to be whatever it is you're preaching. You need to be it 24/7, 365. Integrity works at all levels. A great quote by T. Harv Eker is everything, I think it's from him, everything you do, everything affects everything. I forgot. How you do anything is how you do everything. Okay? How you do anything is how you do everything. We live in a reality where everything affects everything. Your integrity impacts everything. How are you eating affects. Do you brush your teeth like this from up to down like you know you should? Or do you do this because you're lazy? That's a lack of integrity. Investigate every area. Do you sit there and scratch your balls and watch TV? Or do you go and do some push-ups because you have some extra time? Integrity at all levels. Your health, your relationships with your family. How do you treat your mother? How do you treat your father? How do you treat your, everything? You can't just be a coach and be good at the 3 principles, for example, and then expect to be this great success if you're not being it at all levels in all areas of your life. That's what I believe you need to do if you want to. Basically, you need to get serious. Stop playing and get serious. It's not enough just to know intellectual things. You need to be it, live it, and take the hits, because everything, in order to reach the top, you need to go out into the field, take your hits, get your experience, and face whatever demons you need to face so that you can stand in front of a crowd, look them in the eye with the confidence knowing you walk your talk.
So I think this is great, because finally we've got to a point where maybe we're having different views on things. So this is cool, right? And that's fine, because it's good, right? It's good to have different viewpoints. So to a certain extent, let me start off with what I agree. So I agree with you that clients look at us in terms of how we're living. So if we're living from a place of we know the three principles intellectually, and yet we're not showing up, online and being visible because we're afraid. We've got poor relationships in our life. We don't forgive people. All of this stuff, people notice that, right? So I absolutely agree with you that. And I know some people say, well, it's not about you. Don't have an inner focus. Have an outer focus. Focus on the client. But I do feel to some extent, Jad, that we've got to walk our talk. You can't totally take yourself out of the equation. I know some people disagree with that. There's some people in this group who disagree with it, who are quite good coaches, right? And who are quite well-known coaches. But I agree with you. I think there's an element of that. What I maybe have a slightly different view on is I don't like using the words loser and failure. If you don't do that, and what I see is that I see it's a continuum, right? So right now, you may not be having, if you rated every area of your life, it might not be a 10 out of 10. But for me,
no, it's definitely not.
For me, it's a continuum from saying, well, are you on the path? Are you on the path to having the life that you want to model for your clients? So
okay, I think let me just summarize, because I think I if I came across thinking that you have to have everything handled before you can be a great coach, that's not what I meant. What I meant is that if you're being a coach now, you should be trying to restore the integrity in each area of your life the best you can. As long as you're trying, then you're a person of integrity. I didn't mean that you had to have it handled. So is that the distinction we're talking about?
Yeah, absolutely, and I don't want to get. I want to give people to hope from this interview and not feel bad about themselves.
No. I didn't. Okay, yeah. Sorry. No. I didn't by any way. When I started my YouTube channel, okay, I still had issues with women. I was still battling demons. I was still like at 2011, 2012. I still like hated approaching women. I was struggling with that. It's not about that I had it handled and that's why I was successful. It's that. I started where I stood, even though I didn't feel like I was ready. But once I started, I was constantly doing my best to be the man who walks his talk and constantly evolving myself. So yeah, you don't have to be perfect, and it's not like of course, this whole time I've been juggling areas, and this area sucked, and then this area sucked, and then this area was good, and yeah. So if I came across like that, that's not what I meant at all. No. We're all working, and even now, I'm not saying that. Oh, look at me. I'm a student, and I have a lot to learn, and I still have a lot of lack of integrity in my life, just like we all do. It's a lifelong thing. What I'm saying is that if today you're a coach, then today you want to. Be on that process of trying to walk your talk.
So I think going on to a really important question, what's the deal with penguins?
Penguins, my friend. I have penguins behind me.
You have penguins behind you. So
I have penguin binoculars behind. You want to see them?
Yeah, well, you told me about entertainment, so I'm trying to implement what I'm learning straight away from you into this video and have a little bit of entertainment. Because we just went really heavy there, so right, you want to switch it up and tell me what these penguins are about.
Well, these are okay. So I have a very playful girlfriend, and she brought home these great penguins. They're from I don't know what movie they're from, but they look like they're up to something, and. So we keep them hanging around, because they look suspicious. And then this is a Pez dispenser, because when I was a kid, we were kind of poor and we could never afford Pez dispensers. So I bought this for my girlfriend, but I ate all the candy.
You'll have to bring it into the frame because we kind of cut you off half of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But I ate all the candy even though I got it for her because I have issues with not having Pez when I was a kid because it was too expensive. So I ate all the candy from there.
Cool. Well, thank you, because that was bugging me. I was like, what is this whole penguin thing going on behind your shoulder? So no, thanks for that. We just lost a bunch of people. They've just logged off now when we started talking about penguins.
Penguins. All right, cool.
That's feedback for us. There's a great story that a client of Arthur just calls you a scoundrel. I
miss you, Arthur.
There was a great story that a client of Jamie Smart's told me, that when he used to look at life coaches all the time, and he would say that he would always look at them and see what car they drove and see how they dressed and all the rest of it, and he was like, I would never hire any of them because they had a worse life than I did. And when he met Jamie, and he's like, Jamie, you seem to be walking the talk, but he goes, how come you're still fat? And he just said it so direct to him. Mm-hmm. And apparently what clinched it for him was Jamie said to him, well, if you think I'm fat now, you should have seen me before, right? Mm-hmm. And he basically was pointing out, I'm on the path, right? So mm-hmm. Yes, I might not have a six-pack and this beach body, but I'm on the path, and I used to be really big, and I'm always improving myself and moving in the right direction. And Jamie didn't tell me the story, the client told me the story, and it really really stuck with me, and I think it's really relevant to what we were just talking about.
Yeah, 100%. Like, again, I get excited with my motivation stuff because I just want to push people into action, but I by in no means did I mean to imply that you have to have everything together, because nobody has their, let's be real, nobody has their shit together, okay? We all have stuff we're dealing with. It's not about waiting. Okay, here's a huge lesson. Don't wait until the perfect time, because there's never a perfect time. When I started my YouTube channel, I didn't feel like it was the perfect time, and I didn't feel ready. You'll feel ready maybe like 2 or 3 years after when you get enough feedback and you get enough validation. All right, but you're never gonna feel ready, or it's never gonna feel like the perfect time. You just got to do it, and you got to do the best of what you got. If you got something, again, it comes back to, if you feel it's something important, that you feel you have a gift to share to the world, then it's your responsibility to share it, ready or not. Here we go, right?
So we've been talking for nearly an hour. The time has flown by. If people want to check you out and they want to see what is this Jad T. Jones all about, what is this dating advice all about, what do you do, they want to see some of your channel, maybe they'll get an idea about, you know, what you're up to and how many videos you create and all that other stuff. How can they do that? How can they find you?
Yeah, just go on YouTube and in the search box type in Jad T. Jones, Jones. So and then I encourage you, if you're interested in making videos, then just watch some of my videos and just see how I come across, and maybe you'll pick something up, right? If you have any more questions, you can feel free to email me at support@jadtjones.com. I'm a busy guy, but I'll try to get back to you because you're part of Ankush's group. If you have some brief questions, then I'd be happy to help. And yeah, if you want to get good with women, definitely check me out. So I got some simple stuff that can help you out.
Thank you very much, Jad. I've learned a lot from this. I've really enjoyed having you on here, and I hope everyone else has got a ton of value from this.
All right, Ankush, thanks. Always great talking to you.